55 verse 1. So shall my word be that goes forth from my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish what I please, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. Let's open up with giving all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. YAHAWAH is our true name of the Heavenly Father. YAHAWASHI is the true name of his only begotten Son. He saves, he delivers. He is the deliverer of the nation of Israel, all 12 tribes scattered abroad. And in reverence, double honors to the elders, the bishops, the apostles of the great millstone, the one who taught me this truth according to the Bible. Peace, salutation to all the sincere listeners out there listening to this gospel. Shalom to you and your family. I want to thank the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, for giving me inspiration to do this lesson. I was inspired to do this lesson by a recent video I was watching earlier, and also a recent movie. And I don't normally do videos in this style, but this is the spirit been heavy on me to put this video out here. So I don't own this video. This is from a website guy goes by the name of Canadian Prepper. This is just for edification and education purposes. I do not own this video. Fair use, fair use, fair use. So he goes into a bit about the movie without giving it up, but it is a very good movie that I suggest that you have the time, take the time out and watch this movie, because Lord willing, it will be edifying and to the point, and I'll bring out a few scriptures to show where we're at in the stage of this game. Right, this is the Lord's movie. So with that, without further ado, I'm gonna bring in Nate, the Canadian Prepper. Stand by.
Wow, I am absolutely stunned. The movie that I'm going to be reviewing today that was just released, and warning, there are going to be spoilers, but there's enough subtext shrouded in mystery there that even if you watch this video, which I would strongly encourage you to, because we're going to be talking about things that you are not going to see anywhere else, this movie predicts to a T exactly what is going to happen beyond 2024. We're talking about cyber attack preceding civil unrest, preceding conventional conflict, nuclear conflict, hybrid warfare, World War III, the whole 9 yards, with that tinge of hyperbolic exaggeration that we're accustomed to in the realm of Hollywood. But guys, you got to stick with me for this one, because we're going to be talking about prepping lessons that can be derived from this film. We're also going to be talking about the hidden messages, the double meanings, the satire that is so present, the social critiques that are embedded throughout this film. I don't usually do movie reviews, and when I do them, it's for good reason. It's because life imitates art, and art imitates life. The Creative Guild of Hollywood is privy, I do believe, to some connections in various places where they are endowed with some of their ideas. Some of these ideas in this film, I'm certain that somebody has watched my channel, the preparedness stuff, that is. Now, the actual information or the plot that they're putting forth here is unique, it's plausible, and it's a play on things that you've disasters that you're familiar with, like worldwide cyber attack and the threat of it, but it puts a different spin on it. And there's no doubt this video is going to be laden with all kinds of woke suggestions and cultural critiques, because if you didn't know, this film, Leave the World Behind, which was just released on Netflix a couple days ago, was one of the first movies, I do believe, or one of the most popular now, that were unveiled by the Obama production studio. Now, I know what you're thinking.
My name is Will Carmack. I'm a professional visual effects artist, and I am here to recommend my new favorite software, Topaz's.
Okay, and this is all the reason why you should watch this film. Okay, this is, some people, that's going to be a turnoff politically. This is exactly why you should watch this film. Not only is it incredibly well made, and the performances are great. It's got Julia Roberts. It's got another guy who's won a couple Academy Awards. It's got Ethan Hawke. It's got Kevin Bacon. I think this might, in fact, be some kind of sequel to Tremors. You'll understand why in just a moment. But essentially, and you're going to wonder why it says 666 on here, so you Christian eschatological fundamentalist types, you're going to enjoy this video, I assure you. Now, the main plot of the movie, and again, there's going to be spoilers, however, this video is multifaceted, multidimensional, hidden meaning, ridden with hidden meanings, enough and Easter eggs that even if you do watch this video, it's going to be very entertaining. And I'd encourage you to watch this video because if you don't, you might miss a lot of things. Or watch the video first, the movie first, then come back to this. Now, I'm going to take it right to the ultimate level in terms of analysis of this video. The main plot is as follows, and this is discovered at the end of the film. However, I would say that even if you knew that, the film would still be just as interesting. There's a three-stage maneuver that is being waged to dethrone and decapitate the U.S. government. Number one is isolation, disable communication and transport, utilizing a cyber attack, okay? Number two is synchronized chaos and covert attacks, misinformation without any clear enemy motive, okay? So we're not talking about an outside attack from one country. We're talking about a cyber attack where nobody knows exactly who the enemy is. And if you don't know who the enemy is, who are you going to attack? Well, you're probably going to attack each other. That's when the coup d'etat, the civil war, the flying of nuclear weapons, the collapse of civilization as we know it ensues. Now, in the opening scene, I was the first person to pick this up, okay? And this one, I almost spit my coffee out when I seen this because I'm like, how can they be so blatant about it? Again, I dabble in numerology a little bit, but I'm agnostic, okay? So you're not going to see me losing any sleep over this kind of stuff, but it's fascinating nonetheless. Now take a look at this opening scene. And this is not just a fluke scene. The camera is perfectly positioned in such a way, a crack in the wall, it represents something. Every single nuance of this film, particularly the still images represent something. And this is why you almost have to watch the movie a few times if you want to catch all the Easter eggs. Anyways, take a look at this, 666. I've never seen it so blatant in a movie before. So on this side of him, you have a 6, okay? 76. So obviously this is a reference to 1776, I presume. And you even have the old American flag there. I think that's what that is, or there's something related to a flag. I just noticed that now. You also have a 6 on the clock. It's 6:30, so you have 2 6s there. And then over here, you have another 6, okay, with the 30 covered up this time, which means 666, the mark of the beast. Now, why on earth would they do that? This was absolutely intentional. Don't tell me this wasn't intentional. What it means, I don't know. Are they just putting it there to try to create controversy? Are they putting it there as a parody of embedding symbolism within movies that talk about the end times? I don't know, but clearly there's some end time symbolism there, all right? Now, let's proceed into the actual film. Again, this is the map that they provide on the television screen when the shit actually goes down. And levels of disruption by the attack, the darker colors are the regions that are more impacted by this cyber attack. Again, I believe that when Hollywood makes these dystopian films, they're hyperbolic exaggerations of what likely will happen, okay? This is, it's not going to unfold exactly as made out in this film. But the plausibility with this, and the reason why this film is so unique, is because it doesn't just go with the traditional, well, our enemies are going to create a cyber attack, and then it's going to be World War III. It plays on the fact that we live in such a divided society along racial, sexual, socioeconomic lines, and all the rest, that effectively we are going to destroy ourselves from the inside out. And the core overarching thesis or moral of the story, I would have to say, And this will make more sense as we basically unpack all the minute details and talk all about the characters. I'm going to walk you through the entire film and point out some things that you need to know from a preparedness point of view. But the overarching message is that which will save you while the grid is functional, and the isolationism, the individualism that is going to save you when times are good and the stock markets are roaring higher, is not going to be what saves you when the chips are down. And it also talks about how people's trivial differences begin to matter less and less as they go deeper and deeper into the apocalypse, okay? Now, just a quick one more overview of what the plot is. There was an environmental disaster following the loss of signal across the country, which was due to a cyber attack. A radio report in Clay, who is one of the main characters, Ethan Hawke Carr, states that the disaster, mostly happening in the south, is affecting animal migration patterns, many shots of the Earth from space. Now, let's talk about the main characters in the movie, okay? So you have the owners of the home, which is this guy, I can't remember what his name is, two-time Academy Award winner. There's another girl who plays his daughter. There's Ethan Hawke, who kind of plays, this guy is like the one who's in the know. He's got connections to the elites, okay? This guy is kind of like the traditional simp husband who's completely imperceptive, oblivious to the dangers of the world, if you will, and just a little bit docile in most cases. Julia Roberts, who you probably can't see over here, she is the kind of like the Karen of the family. She clearly wears the pants in the relationship, and a bit of a misanthrope, a person who doesn't like people a lot, very grouchy, begrudging, wants her Starbucks, the whole 9 yards, right? Now, there's the girl here who is the daughter of these two, and she is, on the one hand, incredibly obsessed technophile who's addicted to her electronic devices, as many of you guys with kids can relate, but she also happens to be the most perceptive person in the movie. So there's a bit of a contrast there, and her brother, who's a bit bokeh out here, is the complete opposite, completely imperceptive, obedient, no awareness, and probably the lowest likelihood of survival. And then behind me here, and it's probably symbolic that I'm standing right here, because right behind me is Kevin Bacon, and he plays the role of the prepper, the guy who's seen this all coming. And there really is only those characters in the film. There's a lot of other characters that exist in name only. So anyways, let's talk a little bit about what exactly is going on here. Now, I want to say, when I was watching this film, it reminds me a lot of the Jordan Peele movie. Stylistically, it's very much like, it's like an in-between of Us. If you ever seen Us, it's another apocalyptic movie, and Get Out, okay? So with Get Out, you have all the racial overtones, and there's a lot of that in this movie. A lot that a lot of people are not aware of at first, but I'm gonna break it all down, okay? Now, the movie starts out with a little girl, and you'll notice that she is the one who notices everything first. She's the first one to notice that there's no Wi-Fi connection. She's the first one to notice that there's this massive ship coming towards them. She's the first one to notice, to hear a sound that starts to bug everybody. She's the first to see the deer. She's the first to find a bunker at the end of the movie and all this stuff. So ironically, the one who is the most hyper-attuned to their computers and their iPads is also most hyper-attuned to the world around them, which is kind of weird, and I haven't really reconciled what that all means yet. Now, interestingly, in the film, there's a lot of things that change, okay? So there's this painting that changes several times throughout the film. Now, the reason why this is so significant is because it's sending a message about how people change throughout the apocalypse. So the film starts off as you have 4 white lines on this painting behind you. These can represent the main characters, okay? So maybe the tallest one is probably Julia Roberts, because she wears the pants in the relationship. That's Ethan Hawke. The one behind her here is her son. and then this one over here is the daughter. As time goes on throughout the film, this picture is going to change in ways that we're going to talk about. So that'll be more significant in just a moment. Now, if you don't think there's a grand cabal that colludes and rules the world, I don't necessarily know if I do. The plot in this movie has taken things that I've said, which almost makes me think that whoever wrote this film knows somebody who might have watched a few of my videos. But they talk about how the scariest scenario is not that there's a grand cabal who's running the world, but in fact that there isn't. Something I've said verbatim on this channel numerous times before. The fact that there's nobody in control. We're flying on this rock in space and nobody is at the helm of what I perceive to be a sinking ship. And hold on to that ship metaphor because it's important. But you'll notice the Rockstar logo on his beach towel. Now, why is that significant? Well, it's significant because Rockstar just released the Grand Theft Auto 3, holy shit, I just dated myself. Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer just a few days before this, okay? And there's other allusions to Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto series in this video. If you want to know about who runs Rockstar, go and look it up. I think that there's a tight-knit group of people. I don't think they're colluding necessarily, but I think that there might be, I don't know what they're trying to say here necessarily. Maybe they're just trying to show that he's a gamer. He's a young guy, a lascivious, sex-crazed teenage boy who's completely oblivious to, you know, the real dangers of the world. Maybe that's what they're trying to communicate, but there's definitely some overlap here, okay? Now, they're all sitting at the beach in the beginning of the film, and the most perceptive of all, the little girl, I don't remember what her name is, but she is the first to notice that there's a ship approaching, okay? And it doesn't seem to be stopping. This oil tanker in the distance. Now, the oil tanker is called the White Line. Now, the dad, you'll notice throughout the entire film, he's always the last to be made aware of something. He's the most imperceptive, like Homer Simpson, but also just incredibly docile, compliant, uncritical, lacks any awareness of the severity of the situation. He's always the last to find out. In fact, the order of finding out things is displayed eloquently in this film. And this is why this movie, whether it was, you know, sponsored by the Obamas and you don't like them politically or not, it is so well meticulously crafted, right down to every single prop, every single use of screen time. You really have to watch it a few times to understand these things.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it there, family. This he gave out a lot of good information, and he didn't spoil the movie. I suggest you watch this movie. It is very symbolic of the times ahead and the times that we're in right now. Not a lot of people are paying attention to what is happening, but through the power and spirit of YAHAWASHI, we are paying attention to the prophecies because they're falling off the page day in and day out. Can't even keep up what is happening right now. But see, the Bible says you have to watch and pray, right? Watch and pray because all these things, you know, because the Lord is going to come like a thief in the night for the people who are not watching and the people who don't have the oil, you know, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. You know, let's open up with the book of 2nd Ezra's 15. Let's go to the chapter. Start off at verse 14 here. 2nd Ezra's 15, starting off at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." See, woe simply means destruction. The Lord says in many times in the scriptures, the slain of the Lord shall be many, right? Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. See, in this movie, there was a part where Kevin Bacon, he sat on the porch and he had a shotgun in his hand. And I'm not going to spoil it, but that's very symbolic for what is happening right now. See, in the movie pertaining to what's going to happen, right? For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and their swords in their hands. So the sword today is symbolic of the modern day gun, missile, nuclear weapons, all those things, the killing instruments, right? It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. See, without spoiling, I don't want to spoil the movie, but this is very important to the relevant to the movie, so I strongly suggest you watch this movie. It says, "For there shall be sedition amongst men, invading one another." Right? So you see, you're gonna see the true nature of man. People who are friends and neighbors and so forth. What's gonna happen? The people are gonna be fighting against each other. Right? There'll be chaos in the street, and this is what the elites of this world want. It's called order out of chaos, so they can usher in their new devices, the MOTBs and so on. It says, "For they shall not regard their kings nor princes." So when that was on princes, so what's going to happen is that when all the authorities and they're going to talk about peace, 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 and ask everyone for the patience to remain calm. The Bible says when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction as travail upon woman with child. Right? It says, "For they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power." See, and this is the part, verse 17, and this is all symbolic with the movie as well. "And they shall desire to go into a city and not be able." Without ruining the spoiler for you, if you watch this movie, these precepts will make a lot of good sense as to the relevancy of this movie and the release time of this movie, the timing of this movie. "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." See, for because of their pride. See, America is a very prideful nation, "And the city shall be troubled, and their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." So if you think men shall be afraid, when there's war, the men go to war. If you think men are going to be afraid, what do you think is going to happen to the women and children, right? And the elderly? It says, "Their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." And here's the point, and that was the scene where he talked about earlier. He says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword," with the guns, "and spoil their goods." Spoil means to rob, right? This is the reason, because of lack of bread, food, right? "And for great tribulation." So this is this movie it's really as he said in the beginning, is life imitate art. But no, we don't believe in life imitate art. This is prophecies. This is prophecies. What is happening right now? So with all of that, it's things are gonna get so bad because we know that we are in the end times. Because in the Apocrypha, in the book of Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, Daniel, the prophet Daniel, he talks about woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And these are the days that are leading up to. These are the times that we're in. Let's bring that up. Second Ezra 16. I think starts out for verse 17 is what I want right here. Tawada YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. Tawada simply means thank you. So let's go to Second Ezra 16, verse 17. Start up at 17. It says, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? Okay, this is what he's asking. Woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? All right, this is what Ezra is asking. All right, I mentioned Daniel, but I'll precept that with Daniel as well. But it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, because you're going to have all types of wars. Race wars, class wars, civil wars, world wars, all types of wars, because this is what is happening. And the power shall stand in fear. See, a lot of these elites today, and this is also part of the movie as well, without spoiling it, but a lot of these elites today, they have their doomsday bunkers. This is what they're referring to these things as, doomsday bunkers. And the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. Evil simply means bad times. What shall I do when these evils shall come, right? Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish. See, this is all that is happening right now, and sent as scourges for amendment. See, this is what Daniel says, because let's go now to the book of Daniel, Daniel 12, verse 4, where he says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. See, this is going to be going into the famine of the word, right? Even to the time of the end. Okay? And those are the times we're in. You see, everybody's trying to ban the Holy Scriptures, trying to cancel people for speaking any truth. Or there's a saying that goes in the world that says, "Go woke or go broke," right? And seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro. See, in that time, people are gonna be they're gonna wish they had this oil, right? Knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of the truth. And knowledge shall be increased. It's perfect timing that these people are releasing this movie today, and look who the directors are, the producers, Barack and Michelle Obama, right? Don't you think they're insiders? They have all the knowledge. He sat at the helm of the Oval Office, right? So he has a lot of information. But we're gonna get into that in shortly in a little second. But you see, this is what the Canadian prepper said. He said, if you don't know who the enemy is, you'll start fighting against one another. But that's all. See, Nate has information, but he doesn't have the zeal. He doesn't have the knowledge of YAHAWASHI. He's just, and I shouldn't say he's just. He has great contacts, a network system in this world. And he's a prepper. He goes into all the doomsday preppers and all the stuff, planning for in their mind, the apocalypse and all these things that they go into. But we go into the scriptures, right? But when he's saying all these things, you know what is going to happen. So now let's go to show you something here.
So the first person.
Salaki, 1 second. So let's go into got an article here to bring out. It's a Yahoo article. Now this is about this movie. Okay, this movie here, it says, this is from Yahoo Entertainment. The movie's called Leave the World Behind, which is the movie we're talking about. It says, what was Obama's role in the movie? This is dated Tuesday, December 12th, right? It says, with the arrival of Netflix's latest thriller, Leave the World Behind, fans are wondering what role Barack Obama had in it. Did he appear in the film? How did he help its production? Here's all you need to know about Obama's involvement in the film. What is Obama's role in Leave It Behind the World? Both Barack and Michelle Obama were executive producers of Leave the World Behind as their production company, Higher Ground, signed to produce the thriller. After starring in Higher Ground in 2022, Barack and Michelle Obama took on Leave the World Behind as one of the projects for their company. While they didn't appear in the film themselves, their influence helped shape the narrative of the film. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Barack Obama, this is the point I want to make as well, it says, pay attention. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Barack Obama had detailed notes to give on the film's script to help root in its reality. So now think about that for 1 second here. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Barack Obama had detailed notes to give on the film's script to help root in reality. So he was an ex-president. He has in the Oval Office, he has the highest clearance. He has access to all the world leaders. He has access to to all the other the people who are behind the curtains. So you don't think he knows? You don't think he knows a thing or two? Because he's an insider, right? See, it says, while speaking with Vanity Fair, director Sam Esmail revealed how the former U.S. president was deeply invested in bringing the movie to life. Oh, I bet. And because they're conditioning you and telling you what is coming and what is to come, and it is here already. I'll go into a few more articles, but you see, this is not it says 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest we be ignorant of Satan's devices, because this is all part of Satan's devices, right? He says he had a lot of notes, but the characters and the empathy we would have for them, I would have to say he is a big movie lover and just wasn't just given notes about the things that were in from his background. He was given notes as a fan of the book. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it right there. But this is from Yahoo Entertainment regarding the movie, right? So I'm sure he had detailed notes because he's he's an insider. So now let's listen to this article, just came out yesterday, right? So if you watch the movie, you'd have a better understanding. Also, I did a lesson yesterday, Through the Spirit and Power, YAHAWASHI, relating to cyber technology and cyber hacking. So if you haven't watched that lesson, if you have the time, I suggest you watch that lesson as well. So let's go into an article that came out yesterday. Also from, I just took the one from Yahoo, but many sites are covering this same topic. Okay, so you hear the movie about the you have an idea what the movie is about, where cyber technology and hacking and different things and a lot of calamities are coming upon the world, right? So this is from yesterday. Ukraine's top mobile operator hit by biggest cyber attack so far. Ukraine's top mobile operator, okay? It says, let's go. Ukraine's biggest mobile network operator was hit on Tuesday by what appeared to be the largest cyber attack of the war with Russia so far, knocking out mobile and internet services from millions and in the air raid alert systems in part of the Kiev region. See, okay, so now let's continue. It's called Kyivstar has 24.3 million mobile subscribers, more than half of Ukraine's population, as well as 1.1 million home internet subscribers. Right? The CEO said the attack was as a result of war with Russia, although he did not say which Russian body is believed to be responsible, and that the company IT's infrastructure have been partially destroyed. War is also happening in cyberspace. Unfortunately, we have been hit as a result of this war, he told the national television broadcast. So you see, now they are blaming Russia for this attack as well. They're going in to say the Russian cyber attack. So now you're seeing this movie just released this a few days ago. You're seeing Barack Obama and his, bringing detailed notes. You're seeing all these cyber attacks. You're seeing all these things that are happening, and you think this is a coincidence? No, there's no such thing as a coincidence, right? See, we are in this flesh, so sometimes we go off. We're in this vile body, this humanly flesh, right? But sometimes this can be some heavy stuff. But it is all biblical prophecies, nevertheless, right? So you're gonna hear all these things, and you're gonna be like, wow, this is heavy. Some people want to cover their ears and act like this stuff is not happening or it's not gonna happen. But you see, a lot of people will be troubled in the mind, troubled in the spirit. So let's go to the scriptures here for a little bit of comfort and for a second for the elect. The book of 2 Thessalonians 1 verse 7. It says, and to you who are troubled, rest with us. When the Lord YAHAWASHI shall be revealed from the heavens with his mighty angels. But this time YAHAWASHI and his army of hosts, they're only coming for the elect of Israel. That's it. Forget what the church had told you. He's only coming for the elect. And the last time the world was destroyed was by the flood. This time will be by nuclear destruction. So it is one of those things, yes, that of course people are going to hear this and some people will be very fearful, and that's human nature. But the Most High didn't give his elect the spirit of fear, Let's go to that 1 second. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. It says, for the Most High have not given us the spirit of fear. See, before I came into the knowledge of this truth, I would be worried about all these things and freaking out, nowhere to turn, just nothing to rely on, no hope. We're all creatures of hope. But this is true to scriptures. I get the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding. Right down from the head apostles, bringing this great organic truth day in and day out. The Lord has given us teachers. We have enough. Right? So 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. For YAHAWAH have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So this is what we got to keep, meditate into these scriptures day in and day out. That is the only hope. Your riches cannot save you. Your riches will not save you, right? They will not. So now let's just, there was a movie, there was part of that movie as well. I don't want to ruin it for you, but there's a part of the movie where yeah, where a whole bunch of Teslas were in the scene. Let's put it that way. A whole bunch of Teslas were in the scene. And when you first see the scene, you wonder, wow, what's happening there? But then you start to figure out. Now listen to this article. Just came out today, I believe it is. There's so many of them. Yeah, 8 hours ago. There's so many of them. But I'm gonna read the first one. It says Tesla recalled nearly all vehicles sold in the U.S. to fix systems that monitor drivers using autopilot. Read another one here from Yahoo Canada. Transport Canada says Tesla recall will affect nearly 193,000 cars in Canada. Next one from People's 1 hour ago. Deadly autopilot crashes lead to Tesla's recall of 2 million vehicles. Okay. Now, without even going into these articles in terms of time for this lesson, what controls the Tesla to make it go autopilot? That means self-driven. It requires a navigational system. So you're seeing Ukraine talking about their cyber attack that Russia part of the war shut them out. You're hearing about this movie just being released. The ex-president of America is giving detailed notes. You're seeing Tesla recall so many vehicles. And also, yes, this article here is also linked with what transpired in the movie as well. You're seeing all these things without even, look here, it just came out. Without just bringing it really quick. Look, I've even bringing into the article. There's really no need to go into the article, but if you need to, this is from this one's from the LA Times, right? But you're seeing all these vehicles being recalled, all these Tesla's vehicle being recalled, right? But you see, this is why we have to be steadfast in prayer, day in, day out. Steadfast in calling on the names, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. That's it. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Those are the names. And you got to be steadfast on calling those names in great boldness. Those are the only names that we will see salvation. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Okay? We have to be steadfast in doing the works. Speaking for myself first and foremost. Feeding the sheep. Whether they hear or whether they forbear. I'm speaking as a man right now. There's times I do some lessons. I do some detailed research. I link the precepts. I find articles. I find videos to the Spirit and Power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And sometimes just a few people look at them. But I know also these devils that control certain things, they're also controlling the analytics behind the scene. If you read between the lines, you'll follow me. But I know this is what it is. But guess what? The Bible says the heaven rejoices even if one sinner repents. Even if it's one sinner. Because there's a spiritual army. The men that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. We can't be stopped because the truth, they can't do nothing about the truth but for the truth. All the shadow banning and all the deleting and all the stuff because you don't like what you're hearing. These are just words. But you see, the word is like a two-edged sword, right? This is if I say to you, I don't want to ramble off too much, but if I say to you, I would have been doing this a few years ago, I would have bet you $1 million and lose every penny of it. No. But you see, that's why I said we got to be steadfast in doing the works. Yahawashi said 3 times, feed my sheep. So we have to be steadfast in doing the works, feeding the sheep. I enjoy this. This is an easy job. That's what the Lord requires of us. Feed my sheep. Okay? And ministering to the saints. You see? So this is what it says. Always speaking for myself first and foremost. We have to be give diligent to make my calling and election sure, right? That's why the Lord says, put on as the elect. Let's go to 2 Peter 1 verse 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, see, he says brethren, that's family, Israelites, of the kinsman, flesh. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. That's what the Lord is saying to us. You know, so let's close off with the last precept here. Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. Because this is what's happening. While everybody's being entertained with all the bread and circus, we, speaking for myself first and foremost, we stay occupied in prophecies. Because all these prophecies are jumping off the page. Day in and day out, you can't even keep up. You see, I had a conversation today with my brother in the truth. My brother in the truth. The one who first introduced me to the truth, Brother Malak. See, we had a conversation. He said, look how fast. He says, look how fast the days are going. He said, just yesterday, it was January. Now look at it today. We are in December, mid-December. December 1st was just around the corner. Including this morning, you know. The time is just zooming by. But there's a reason for all that. Because the Lord is showing us all the tokens, all the signs of what is happening. And these days are being shortened for a reason. Because a lot of stuff is happening. Let's go to the book of Matthew 24, start at verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor never shall be. So we think about all the times that happened in the past, from 70 AD, all the various captivities, all the stuff that we've been in. Nothing will be like what is coming, because this will be the great tribulation. Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 verse 7. I'll read that again. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world. Can you imagine? Of all the calamities that we've endured, the worst is yet to come. But for Jacob's sake, the elect shall be saved. For the YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI's sake, the elect shall be saved. That is his promise to us. Lord willing, we're among that number. Lord willing. So the reason why I say this as well, why all the times and the dates are going by so fast. You see, verse 22, it says, and except those days shall be shortened. I just told you. You see how fast? And I don't need to tell you. You can see for yourself. If you have the spiritual lens to see it, you'll see it. How fast these days are going by. And except those days shall be shortened. And this is why, right? They should no flesh be saved, right? But this is the point. This is what the Lord promised to the elect. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Because if the Lord doesn't hurry up and shorten these days, there will be no flesh saved. Because this man, he has the power to take peace from the earth. This is what he does. He takes the power from the earth. You see, 2 Peter 3 verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with great noise. That goes into the nuclear destruction. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. You ask yourself, what kind of heat could produce that? Nuclear destruction. The earth shall, and the works, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt. You see? So, I think the point has been made. So with that, I say, Tawada YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM RAWCHAA QADASH KAL HALAIM LA YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI.